Hi, it's Megan. I have the new Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette. So I'm going to show outdoor swatches. I'm going to show swatches on camera, and then I've got it on my eyes, and I'll explain what I have on my eyes, and then I'm going to show it, well, first I'm going to show it versus the Naked Basics palette. So first of all, just by way of disclosure, I like palettes like this. I tend to be in a hurry way too often, and having kind of muted, natural, neutral shades that are reliable to me is like the must-have basic. As much as I have like way too much makeup and like playing around with it when I have time, a lot of times I don't have time. So I need like the idiot-proof, simple, natural stuff I can wear to work kind of thing. So anyway, I'm not going to show you the mirror, but same size as Naked Basics 1, which doesn't have a 1 on it. It's got a mirror, really good mirror, it's Urban Decay. No brush, and then these are the 6 colors. So this is $29 for 0.30 ounces, which is the same as the Naked Basics. Let me show them next to each other. The case is a slightly different color, but basically they are different variations on the same theme. The Naked has, instead of the dark brown, it has kind of that smoky, super dark gray, blackish brown, almost black. So this is Naked Basics 2. And this, you know, I must have, I don't know, there's like a weird cast on it as I look at it, which doesn't affect the color at all. But for some reason it just ended up forming on top. Anyway, so what did I think? So let's start with the darkest color first. So I read some people saying this isn't very pigmented. These shadows are pretty creamy. They're a little bit more powdery than some Urban Decay shadows in my opinion, but they're still creamy. So when you have creamy and powdery, I kind of think of Tarte shadows. They still apply well. On me, they blend really beautifully well. I didn't have a problem with kind of thinking that this color wasn't pigmented enough. I kind of felt this was the point. So I have it under my eyes, and then I have it in my crease, this darker one. And this is called Undone. I'm starting with this one, then I'll start at the beginning. This is called a deep smoky brown matte, and of the colors, 5 are mattes, and 1 is a satin. It's the first one, the lightest one. So this one to me is a dark brown. It has kind of slightly cool undertones and a matte finish. I kind of had read beforehand this was a much cooler version of the Naked Basics, and it is cooler, but I don't think this is a cool toned palette. I think that's deceptive. I got it for 2 reasons. First of all, I really like Naked Basics and I do use it a lot, and then I don't need anything. I like to have around little palettes like this that I can kind of carry around if I'm going to the gym or something that will give me just that basic, almost no makeup look. So I got it for that reason. I got it for another reason, and that is my daughter is younger and she's just starting to wear makeup, and she really likes these lighter matte shades because she doesn't feel as done up. She can kind of put almost no makeup on and look like she has almost no makeup on, but it looks pretty. So this is it, and I was thrilled, honestly, at how light a lot of the shades are. They look really light in the pan. They're actually a lot more pigmented on. I guess this one is the only one that's gotten some criticism for not being pigmented enough, but it just isn't as dark as the darkest shade in Naked Basics. I kind of like the idea that these have more lighter shades, because most palettes I feel have way too many dark shades. It's like they want to make the palette dramatic and eye-catching and different, and they do that with kind of these deeper shades. But how many deeper shades do you really wear in an eye look? I tend to use a super light one almost all the time, and when I'm in a real hurry I'll use 2 super light ones and then mascara. So for me this is actually something I could use a lot. The first color right here, I'm going to start with next. This is described as a pale nude satin. You can see it's a little bit powdery, but they do blend. But you can still see as I put it on my wrist, it's not going to show up that well. These swatches always show up better outside or just on a finger with the lighter shades like this. This is actually kind of a peachy bone color with a satin finish. It's not cool toned at all in my opinion. I don't think peach is cool. It's cooler than plain orange, but to me it almost has like a little bit of a, yeah, it's definitely peach bone. And I put it up here. The one thing I would say with this color is that it's so light and it's so close to my own skin tone, I almost can't see it on. Sometimes I was taught that the point of a shadow like this is just to even out your skin tone and not look like you have makeup there. And I know a lot of people have also told me the new trend is you don't put anything right up here under your brow. So in that case, this is great for both of those things. All of these lasted about 8 hours on me without an eyeshadow primer. They lasted a lot longer with, and I almost always use an eyeshadow primer. This is a lighter nude palette I don't need to use an eyeshadow primer with, and I can still get away with it. The next one is another light shade. You can see this light variance. This is called Stark, and it's a nude pink matte. This one's a matte. It's, again, very peachy. I'm going to put it next to the other so you can see. It's a little bit more pink. Well, you can't see. Let's do it this way. So this is the second one. This is the first one. It's a little bit more pink. Again, it definitely is warm, and it's another one that is a little hard sometimes to see on certain skin tones. I love this for my skin tone. I can see where if you've got a darker skin tone, some of these might get too light on you overall. The next one is Frisk. This is a warm gray matte, and I put this one on because it's one of the cooler of the shades. And I'm more of a warm undertone, but I can wear cool shades. But I just figured I would show you kind of a cool eye look. And this is about as cool as it gets. So I put that just on my lid, and then I used a big brush like this. And then, like I said, I got the darker brown in the crease to add a little bit of dimension. I don't think it looks that gray to me. Let me do the swatch. They call it a gray, but to me it looks kind of like a taupey, gray taupe kind of color. Kind of in between taupe and gray. And it definitely has warmer undertones. Again, a gray taupe, kind of a warmer to neutral. It's matte, and like with all of the shadows, it has kind of that powdery texture that blends really well. It does actually remind me a little bit of Tarte. The next one is Cover. I wore this yesterday. I really like this. This one is a lot more powdery. It was powdering up yesterday when I was putting it on. This right here, for some reason I always think shades like this have a slight purple undertone on me, although I never hear anyone saying that ever online. It's just me. So I almost see a certain purple undertone to it. No one's going to agree with me. And this one is described as a muted red brown matte. So I guess you can say the red, purple, kind of. It's a medium dark, warm toned taupey brown with warm tone. It's got that reddish, almost purple undertone to it, almost a mauve undertone to it on me. And I really like this shade. I wore this yesterday and I loved it. This is what I was wearing all day yesterday. But you can't, I'm not going to show you the mirror, but I actually have specks of that particular shade on my mirror now just from that. So this one's a little bit more crumbly. The next one's a little bit more crumbly too. This one right here is also really pretty. This is called Primal, and it's described as a muted brown matte. So you can see this one's warmer. You can see the red when you put it next to this one. And this one, again, another matte. We only had one that wasn't. And it's definitely, again, that kind of slightly powdery texture to it. And it's like a medium dark brown, but really like a pure chocolatey kind of a brown, but a cooler chocolatey kind of brown. So anyway, those are the swatches. You can see how subtle these are. And these last two, actually on the lids, that color almost shows up on the lids. They don't look like they're going to be as dark as they are on, but they really are. So overall, I'm kind of, you know, anytime someone does a review on something, there's like products that everyone's gonna love, and then there's products like, you know what, this is just my sweet spot. This is my sweet spot. I love this type of shadow. I don't mind that they're soft, kind of slightly powdery, because they do blend so well on me. It's just the texture of the shadow, and it doesn't give me any fallout. It's just a wearable, everyday, warmer than I expected matte palette. If you don't like that, you're gonna hate it. If this is what you're looking for, this is a really good palette to get for a decent price and get really wearable colors. If you're just new to makeup, I think these, the Naked Basics and the Naked Basics 2, are almost two of the best palettes you could get if you're new to makeup. So overall, I really love it. I would love to hear what other people have to say, and comments, suggestions, thoughts. And then I also have a new book out if you like terrorist novels, called Escape. If you don't like terrorist novels, you shouldn't read it. Thanks.